there's no silence, there's no stillness inside of me because I wasn't in a good place where I felt where I wasn't happy with where I was at. One does not exist without the other. The good does not exist without the evil. And so you got to have the darkness and the light within you, and you got to come sit with the darkness. It's just about loving yourself first, to put yourself first before anybody else. Okay? And that's not easy. Okay, that's not easy. And so you genuinely have to say no. You know, it's okay to say no. I would start there first, and then I would start doing meditation before I would start anything else. Because loving yourself first, taking care of yourself first, making sure that you put yourself first, and then everything else will start falling in. It's kind of selfish to give your half to somebody else too. I mean, how are you going to give your whole to somebody if you're not whole?
Talking about the community aspect of things and that oxymoron between the importance of community, but also being by yourself. Let's start with the peace and solitude. A lot of times when people are the life of the party, they are drinking, they are partying. They also listen to this blazing loud music so that way you can't hear your own thoughts. How did you get to a place to where you found peace in the silence?
It took me some time because when I first met my partner, I had all these hundreds of friends around me, and we sat and I started meditating. It was so hard for me to meditate, even for like 30 seconds. Just sitting there, and just right now, I was distracted by the phone. I thought I put it on silent, and it went off. Just right, here's an example right here. And because we're always watching, either I don't watch TV anymore that much. So we were watching TV. I was going to bars. I was going to hang out with friends. Just so there's no silence. There's no stillness inside of me because I wasn't in a good place where I felt where I wasn't happy with where I was at. And so closing your eyes for like 30 seconds and just being still can be scary for people. You know, it was scary for me to be in the dark place. I was scared of being in a closet. When I was younger in the fraternity, they put me in a closet for 30 minutes as a prank while we were on a substance, right? And so I had nightmares going through in the darkness. We had all these little fables growing up about horror things and like Mary, Mary, Mother Mary, and all these things that you go into the closet and then it's dark. And so these things growing up in fear of the unknown but now at the same time, we close your eyes, and when you go into the shadows and you see fear, you start to understand it. You start to become friends with it because you can't let it go. One does not exist without the other. The good does not exist without the evil. And so you got to have the darkness and the light within you, and you got to come sit with the darkness. You got to you got to understand it. So now I can go into a bar and not have a beer and be great with it. I could be surrounded with alcohol and be like, hey, no, I'm good. It's all good. There's no feeling of anxiety. There's no feeling of tension or stress. You build to it. And again, it's a practice though. You have to do it every day. Even after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, even if there's nothing going on, you're like, I'm doing this breath work for 6 months and I still feel the same. And then all of a sudden you're like, poof. Like, whoa. You have to trust it. And it's not a fad. If you believe in what you're doing, it's a lifestyle. It's not a fad. Cold plunges, you go for once a month because it's a fad. You don't go every day. You go every day, it's a lifestyle. And you stay consistent with it. Because at 80, when you're still doing cold plunges, you're strong. You're going to be strong. It's about longevity of life. You don't want to be situated like my parents were for the past 4 or 5 years, stuck in a home, living in that way. Oh my God, I wish this upon nobody to live like that. It's horrible to be taken away from your body.
Mm. It's so interesting. This idea of consistency being key in all aspects of life is something that's been popping up a lot for me lately. It's been this very major thing, just consistency, consistency, consistency. And I think it's just as powerful to say that even if you don't see visual results in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months in some cases, that doesn't mean that you should stop. It means that you should keep going. I want to know a little bit more about your business, Union and Creation.
Yeah, so Uni's Creation is a human wellness me and my partner started 9 years ago. And what we do is we help with stress and anxiety at the workplace. And to help when you become a better worker, when you help with anxiety and stress at the workplace, you become more productive at the office. And then you go home and you're less stressed, and then you bring that to your family and you're having a better time with your family. So we started this in the aspect and we're working together. So my wife does the movement and meditation portion of our health and wellness package, and I do the sound therapy, the cold plunge, the infrared, and the breathing aspect of it. So some of the corporations that we work with are like the Houston Texans, BP, and then I also facilitate different yoga and sound healing events on Monday and Tuesday at Discovery Green. And then I also do sound therapy in the cave at the Buffalo Bayou Park Cistern on Saturday and Sunday. And so this is built this up. It's kind of an amazing life that we built. Honored to be doing this, waking up, taking care of yourself, taking care of others, and facilitating. And it's been fun. It's been very fun, man.
Tell me a little bit about the sound therapy specifically, how that works and how it's beneficial.
So for me, when I started the sound therapy, I think from the sound therapy helps with resetting your nervous system. It hits the vagus nerve, and then all of a sudden you start to feel tingly sensations in your body, which is blood flow, and resetting your body. When blood flows, all of a sudden aches in your body start going away because they're stagnant, because the stagnation goes away. And so with the flow of it just helps with the blood flow. And I see people afterwards, they're like, it's different for everybody, right? We're all human beings, so we're all built differently. At the same time, either you leave relaxed or you leave energized, just depending on where your body's at and what you need at the moment. It's quite cool. I've seen in the past 9 years over 100,000 people. It's quite cool. And then I'm glad that my wife came into the picture about 3 years ago, and now she's handling the meditation aspect of it. So we put it together, and it's magical. It's so fun. It's so fun. This lifestyle.
It is fun. I really enjoy when I get the opportunity to let them do meditation, and I love doing sound therapies with people. I'm not a practitioner, but I have plenty of friends who are. When someone's first getting started in these modalities, is there a direction that you typically point people into to begin with? Do you point them into more of the movement aspects of things, such as yoga? Do you point them to the cold plunge, meditation? Where does someone start?
So for me, it's to start about loving yourself first, to put yourself first before anybody else. Okay. And that's not easy. Okay. That's not easy. You have kids. So you're going to put your 5-year-old daughter before you. It's just human nature. That's how we were grown. Or if you have work and then your boss tells you to do something, you're going to put that self sometimes before you too, just depending on what you do. And so and you genuinely have to say no. It's okay to say no. We're always say, oh yeah, we'll come to that party even though you don't feel like going. Oh yeah, we'll go do this even though you don't feel like doing it. Say no. So I would start there first, and then I would start doing meditation before I would start anything else. Because loving yourself first, taking care of yourself first, making sure that you put yourself first, and then everything else will start falling into place. At least to me is where I started and how I did it. It's first it has to be here. It first has to be here.
What do you say to someone,
Movement is important too. Movement is important too. So
when people are told to put themselves first and the importance of that, and I 100% agree with you, what would you say to someone that says that's selfish? I have to help this other person. I have to make sure I'm taking care of all these other things. What do you say to someone that feels as if it's selfish for them to put themselves first?
it's kind of selfish to give your half to somebody else too. I mean, how are you going to give your whole to somebody if you're not whole? if you're all of a sudden, oh, I have sniffles or I'm not feeling well, but let me go help somebody else, but I'm not feeling great. So are you being really true to them? I mean, you're giving your half self to them. To me, that's kind of selfish. To me, that's good. When you're on a plane, do they tell you to put the mask on them or yourself first? So, I mean, that's just one example out of many that it's on the flight. Honestly, you give it to them first, right? And then you
Yeah.
put yourself, no, put yourself first and then you do it. I mean,
Yeah.
when you go in public, do you brush, I don't know, do you brush your teeth or you brush somebody else? I don't know. It's just, to me, it has to be that you're half-assing it. You want to give your full ass. You don't want to give your half-ass.
That is so funny because I have to agree with you. And it's funny because now that I'm at a place in my life where that makes sense to me, putting myself forth first and making sure that if I'm not whole, I can't give my whole self to someone else. I just can't do that. You can't love someone without loving yourself first. It's just crazy that it took me a while to get there.
Took me a long time, bro. It took me in my 40s. It took me in my 40s to get there. So it's never too late, man. It's never too late. I know people in their 60s that figure it out. And so it's never too late. Never too late, man. It'll be great to figure out earlier, then you so many more, but at the same time, that's not our journey, right? Not, everyone has a different journey.
You know, I 100% agree with that. It seems like a lot of people are starting to become more aware a little earlier in life. Like a lot of people are starting to at least be interested in wholeness in their 30s and 40s. And it seems like it's less happening older now. Do you have any thoughts or opinions on why society itself seems to be becoming more aware at an earlier age?
Well, it's you can see what's going on right now. I mean, I don't remember this going on before when we were younger, and or maybe it was, and we weren't becoming aware. But we at 50, the people who are 20 and 30, I know I'm around this community, and they're young. They're 20 and 30, and they have grown way further than I have when I was 20 and 30. And so my logic is that we screwed it up so much that they're like they have no choice but to become aware of what's happening in society and what's going on, especially as how ridiculous social media is now with with politics. And I don't concern myself with any of this and hear what's happening. And so I can totally get with everything that's happening in the public. If you're watching this material world of social media with like the celebrities out there and how all the behavior with these Epstein files and Trump, and it's just again I'm talking about what's happening, but I really don't want to talk about it in this podcast because it doesn't really concern me about everything else on what's going on. There's so many realms that we living in on Earth, and so the realm that I live in, I don't see it. What's going on unless I've turned the TV on, and that again is pretty toxic for me as well. So I see why they're awake. And I hope they become awake at a younger age so that way they can help this world at least become a little bit more balanced. You know,
Mm,
it's a wonderful place when I'm seeing the 20 and 30-year-olds becoming just like what we are right now at 50, 60-year-old.
okay.
It's beautiful. You
All
know,
right.
understanding the pharmaceutical companies and the food companies in America are working together. So,
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I actually do want to touch on what you're talking about as far as what's going on in the world and how does one become aware or maintain a level of awareness of what's happening and perhaps the outside of our reality or the everything else that's happening in the world, but not feeding into that energy. How do you maintain a level of awareness without feeding into it?
how I've done that again is stop watching TV because TV only for some like local networks and stuff like that. I mean, most people don't have the lifestyle I do where I don't have that around me because of the facilitation and the events that I are all geared towards wellness. Now, you work in the oil and gas industry, you're surrounded by it. You work at hospitals, you're surrounded by it, right? You're surrounded by all these governments, you're surrounded by it. So it's hard I'm not the person possibly to give that answer because I have made a utopia around me where none of it affects me. Financially, physically, mentally, none of it affects me. And for instance, my brother works at a gas company, and so I understand 9 to 5, and then coming home and feeding dad, and not being able to take care of yourself. And so it's hard for people to break through that when they don't have guidance in their life to show them that there is another way. I fortunately wanted that change just because it just wasn't working for me. And now I know that my soul before and after understands like, hey, you need to figure that not everyone. I wish this upon everybody. It's hard for me to explain it, bro. It really is hard for me to explain it. I wish this upon everybody. So
No, I totally get it. It's when people ask me about the current events, I'm like, oh, I'm aware. I know what's going on. But it's difficult for me to say that it's a choice because it's not a choice. It's just who I am. Like you said, it's how I live my life. The thing when I do hear about what's going on in the world, it's literally because I heard about it. I didn't see it on the news because I don't really watch that. I didn't. It's I look at it as what I need to know will find me, and to the level at which I need to know. That's literally how it comes to me. And outside of that, I just let it go and live my life.
exactly. I see it a lot on Facebook and Instagram because I do marketing, and that's the way that people know about me and so forth. And so I unfortunately see what's happening. And when I'm taking care of my dad likes to watch TV, and then all of a sudden I sit and I'm stuck. I'm stuck on that TV, and of course the blue light and all that, all the EMF things that are coming out. I'm like, I see what's happening. They're brainwashing me. I was just like, how do people get out of this? And so it's nice to see that people are becoming more aware, even though they're getting brainwashed. Every ad is about pharmaceutical jardians, or it's not about eating the right foods, exercising. It's about taking this pill, but it causes death. Okay, let's do that instead of not having sugars, not having fried foods. Let's actually make an effort to take care of ourselves inside instead of just masking it. So it's good that it's becoming aware. I'm just I'm just happy about that.
I love that as well. I tell people all the time, hey, there's no magic pill, and the holistic path is a journey, but you'll be better for it in the end.
Yeah, no, I see people taking their kids to Taco Bell. I'm like, you like water and powder? Taco Bell. I used to love Taco Bell, so I can't hate on it. Like, I was there. And so
For,
that
for
again,
sure.
I'm going through my own journeys of not having my expectations on that.
For sure, for sure. To each his own. I never knock what someone else does. But when someone asks me about my life, I'll tell them, And I'm not perfect every time. I still like, cookies and things like that. I still eat sugar, but everything in life is in moderation. And it's a journey to get to the place to where you don't have to be you don't feel as if you have to be perfect all the time because you're no longer performing. This is just who you are.
Correct. Correct. And I feel like I'm just living, just going with the flow, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. I trust the process now. And if something throws me off, I'm like, okay, wait, there's a lesson here. What's going on? What do I need to learn? Why are you triggering me to have an emotion like that? Because no one should know no one, I'm not going to allow anyone to get me triggered. No, their anger is not even worth it. After seeing my parents go through, I'm learning just self-love. Don't be angry. It's not worth it. We're insignificant, man. Right now, while we're doing this, there's a million things going on right now around us. This is everything in life. If once you figure out you're insignificant, it blows up. It's amazing. Like, oh, okay, whatever. It's all good. Insignificant. Like, is it gonna matter in a year from now? Like things I don't even remember a month ago. What's the point of getting angry? What's the point?
No, I 100% agree with that. I talk to people about the peace and happiness. I'm like, I thought it was fine. I have life. I have rough days like anyone else. I just choose not to hold on to it. That's exactly like you said. I don't remember what I had to eat last Thursday. So I'm just not holding on to the anger and frustration. Does it happen? Sure, I'm human. And I feel like that's okay. But when you hold on to it so deeply that it becomes how you identify who you are as a person, now we're getting into a bit of a psychosis, and you might start to develop some type of mental or physical addictions or something like that later on down the line.
I do agree with that. You will. Hmm. So my dad, I see the trauma. I see everything that what he has been going through, and it's just depleting and depleting and depleting. And so not having the happiness, not having the self desire, the ambition, the inspiration, purpose. First of all, purpose is so important in life. At least the older I feel, the older I get, purpose, doing what you're doing, making a difference on someone else, with someone else. It's so amazing. I feel younger. I don't feel 51. I the healthiest I've ever been right now, mentally, first of all, physically, 100%. You know, I've gotten over, I've reversed my dad's diabetes, his cholesterol. They were going to take his kidneys out. They were going to put him in dialysis. They were going to amputate his right leg just by changing his food. That's it, because he doesn't exercise. So I know for a fact, it doesn't matter if you change your food. He is not on any more pills, and that's $500-600 a month in savings. So just change your diet and be happy in life, and self-love, and everything will fall into place, and there will be no dis-ease in your body. Can't live in a happy body. It can't live in a happy body if it's flowing.
Yeah. I love that so much. But hey, Samuel, we only have a few minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to leave with the audience before we go?
I first thank you for having me on this podcast. Onion Soup and Dexter, I wholeheartedly thank you. It was a pleasure to speak to you. It was a pleasure to speak to whomever is listening, whomever will listen in the future. And just one thing is for me, I live my life of self-love. Loving yourself more than anything else in life, putting yourself first before anybody else. Like you said, it may sound selfish, and I thought the same thing. At the same time, if you're not giving someone your wholehearted self, if you're not being who you are genuinely, then you're not being of service to the other person as well. So please, if anything else in life, if nothing else that you got from this audio or the video, just know that one thing is self-love. Love yourself more than anybody else in life. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure so much. And where can people find you?
Okay, so I am Union is Creation, www.unioniscreation.com, or at Union is Creation on Instagram. And from there, you can see everything else that I do, all the events and what I do and where I host throughout the city.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Samuel, for coming in and talking to us. I really enjoyed today's conversation. And thank you all for listening to this episode of Onion Soup. We'll have all the information in the description below. And as always, stay blessed. Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
On the surface, my life was on track. I was a medical laboratory scientist with a degree in biochemistry, and I was preparing for a PhD. My mind was trained to see the world in data and repeatable results, but inside, I was lost. I was lost amidst the sea of depression and the feeling, this overwhelming feeling that there had to be something more. Have you ever had an experience you couldn't quite explain? A moment where you felt so deeply connected to everything around you. For years, both as a scientist and as a seeker, I asked pretty much anybody who would listen these questions. You see, my journey to find this more didn't begin in the lab, but in a space of quiet meditation. As I started to heal, I was faced with a profound choice, a voice that asked, do you want to help the world by studying the brain, or by showing people how you healed your mind? I chose the latter, and I decided to call my dad, whom I often refer to as my first spiritual teacher. Years ago, he hosted these gatherings in our home for people to explore science and spirituality. and he called them Onion Soup. When I decided to create a space for these conversations, I asked my dad if I could carry on the name. He gave me his blessing, and the podcast was born. Onion Soup. The name itself is our philosophy. Life, consciousness, and the universe are all like an onion. As we peel back one layer, we find another. And just like a hearty bowl of soup, these deep conversations are meant to be comforting, nourishing, and soothing to the soul. Onion Soup is more than just a podcast. It's a space for those who are curious and those who are seekers. A place to be inspired to expand your own awareness and to soothe the soul by resonating with what your spirit already knows is true. Today, that space is growing. It's so much bigger than what I could have ever imagined. But to write this next chapter, I need your help. I'm inviting you to become a true partner in our mission. With your support through this Patreon, we can achieve 3 critical goals together. First, sustainability. To provide the resources to make Onion Soup a fully sustainable long-term project. Second, elevation. To reinvest, improving our sound and video quality. And to travel the world conducting powerful on-site interviews with our guests face-to-face. And third, expansion. To build the professional assets needed to bring our conversations to a major network, sharing this work with millions. If this message resonates with you, please look at our tiers below. For as little as $5 a month, you can get ad-free episodes and join our private community. You can become a supporter, an insider, a co-creator, or even a partner in this vision. Whatever you choose, thank you for being here and for being a part of the Onion Soup journey. Now, let's peel back these layers together.